Arabic Culture by Hannah Kotreba. I interviewed Lamia, an Iraqi American who immigrated to the United States in 1976. She tells about her experiences as a refugee and her journey to become an American citizen. Lamia's family fled from Iraq to Lebanon in the early 1970s. During this time when they were in Lebanon, they unfortunately became stuck there because civil war broke out and they were unable to leave the country. The airports were closed and there was really no way out for them. So they had to stay there for a couple years. Eventually, Lamia and her family made it to America, where a relative was waiting for them who had helped arrange a place for them and get them settled in the United States. As a new immigrant, her father had very little money and a family to take care of. He worked tirelessly to provide for them, eventually opening his own restaurant. This hard work ethic and dedication carried over to Lamia, who is now a successful restaurant owner herself. She makes the best baklava and dolma around. This is a map of the Middle East, and it also shows Iraq, where Lamia is from originally. In first looking at the Arabic culture, I'll start with speaking about the language. Lamia and her family are bilingual. She speaks Arabic and English. However, during our discussion, she did mention that she was sad how little she uses Arabic in her daily life. She primarily speaks English. She really only speaks Arabic with her family on the phone or when they have occasions in person. And she mentioned that due to this lack of use, she feels that she's kind of losing the ability to speak and remember words in Arabic and even read Arabic as well, simply because she does not use it very often, and she wishes she had more opportunity to do so. Lamia enjoys cooking Arabic cuisine. One of her favorite ways to express her culture and show love for her family is by cooking. And she does this, she cooks Arabic food on special occasions, birthdays, holidays, celebrations, things of that nature. Her family's favorite dishes include dolma, tabbouleh, baba ganoush, and of course baklava. Arabic tea and coffee are usually served after meals. Sometimes, if you're lucky, a family member will know how to read your fortune by turning your coffee cup upside down onto your saucer and you let it wait for a couple of minutes. And then you turn the cup right side up and they're able to look at the lines that the coffee has made and it'll predict your fortune and your future. Family is very important. Lamia enjoys having large gatherings full of food, laughter, fun, and just talking to each other and enjoying each other's company. It's very important to her. Religion. Although many Arabic people practice Islam, Lamia's family are Christian. And this is actually one of the primary reasons that her family decided to leave Iraq. Her family, her father, her mother were Christians, and her father had an altercation with a few men that did not practice Christianity and were upset that his family did, and there were some issues there. So that was one of the main things that really led her father to decide that they needed to leave their country in order to practice the religion that they chose. Culture and tradition. Lamia's family, they pass down their heritage, their language, often through singing, through dancing, and telling stories and remembering times of them growing up and being in Iraq and speaking about their family members and how they grew up. That's how they pass down their heritage and their traditions. Belly dancing is a traditional form of entertainment. They like to have belly dancing at parties, holiday celebrations, baby showers, things like that. Lamia loves to decorate her house and and use really ornate decorations and things from her country that help her feel more at home and remember her family, and it just makes her feel happy. Some of the things that she enjoys are camel statues, hookah, rugs, and vases that just remind her of her culture and, again, her family. Going further into the Arabic culture and looking at how the family is and how important it is to them, they're very proud of their heritage. They're very proud of their family, and family to them is everything. It's central. Honor is significant as well. Bringing honor to yourself, bringing honor to your family, it is a very important thing in their minds and something they strive for. Large families are valued. Some Arabic families also have very strict rules about marriage. Often young women will be required or very much encouraged to marry someone else in the Arabic culture, and it's, looked down on or frowned upon if they kind of marry outside of that. Even some of Lamia's family members who have lived in the United States for a very long time, they do not prefer for their daughters especially to marry someone that is not Arabic. Women and men play very traditional roles in this culture. Often sons are favored over daughters and given more freedom. And religion plays a central role in Arabic politics, Arabic culture, and family. It's another central point of their belief system and how they live their lives. Discussing the deeper elements of Arabic culture, money is honored in Arabic life. Lamia and her family hate being wasteful due to their experiences as immigrants and having to go through difficult times where they had very little and they were struggling, and then making it to America and having to work hard to build back their lives here in a new country where everything was different and a new language. It is very fresh still in their memories and their minds that they should not waste. They should be very conservative with their food, with their finances, because that is so ingrained in them that they realize how hard their father and mother had to work to provide for them, to make a life for them in America, really to even just get out of Iraq and then out of Lebanon. Very trying times for them, so they want to appreciate as much as they can what they have now and not take that for granted. Arab people are very protective of their children. As we discussed, family is at the center of life, family and religion. Therefore, their children are their pride and joy. They want the best for them. They expect a lot of them. Lamia, her family has very high standards for their children, and they value education. They want them to succeed and bring honor to themselves and bring honor to their family. Elders in this culture are respected. They're thought of as leaders and being wise, and you treat your elder with respect. You speak kindly to them. That is very important to them. The male is thought of as the leader and the provider of the household, again with the traditional male and female gender roles very prominent in Arab life. Religion is at the center of life, as we've mentioned before. Religion and family, it really causes them to see things and make decisions based on what's best for my family. What does my religion say about this? And it is central to their decision-making process. Understanding someone's culture, their background, their language has such importance in a person's life, especially a student. Before this interview, I knew a surface level amount of information about Arabic life, Arabic culture. And then speaking with Lamia about her journey to America, how it felt for her to be an immigrant, I really began to understand more about how she felt and how she viewed life, family, education, religion. And it was beneficial to me to see how she lives and lived and see how she views the world. During our conversation, Lamia shared with me that she missed a little over 2 years of school during this transitional period where her family was leaving Iraq and moving to Lebanon and then eventually settling in the United States. This transition, and then ultimately her moving to America and having to learn English and understand the culture, and it was a challenge. It was frightening for her, and some of those feelings she still experiences as an adult. She shared that she still feels self-conscious about her English and the way she phrases her feelings sometimes. She mentioned that often she feels like she's misunderstood or she offends people because she's trying to find the words, she's trying to find the right way to express herself using English, and she thinks it doesn't quite come out correctly. It's not, what she meant in her heart or what she meant in her mind. So she's very self-aware of that, and sometimes, does feel embarrassed or feels awkward about those situations, even as an adult who's lived in the country for a very long time now. Understanding what a student goes through and has to go through, not only, if they've moved to America or if they're first generation or second generation, but understanding and showing compassion is essential to helping an English learner feel comfortable in their setting, in their classroom. It helps them to feel safe to take risk, to try and speak, to try and write in a new language. It's so critical that an educator shows that compassion, shows that understanding, even if we don't fully understand or grasp their culture, we show that we want to learn about them and make them feel welcome. The impact of this on a student's education and life cannot be understated. After interviewing Lamia, I really understood how frightening it must be for a student to come to a new country, begin a new school, and even have a new teacher that speaks a different language than them and views a different values and different way of living. An English learner probably has many fears about being accepted, acting appropriately, learning English, and then on top of that, understanding and learning academic content. A teacher must make every attempt to try and learn about a student's culture, language, and feelings. A teacher who is equipped with this knowledge and background on a student's culture can help ease the stress and anxiety of learning a new language and being in a new place and having all of these environmental changes and fears. Encouraging sharing during activities and writing time will help students feel safe discussing their family, their language, and culture. That way the student will feel comfortable and not be ashamed of their language or feel that they have to conform. Approaches that celebrate multiculturalism. First, a teacher can conduct a home visit to a family to learn more about them, how they live, how they view education, what their values are. Having a classroom library that contains books in different languages, especially the languages that your students speak. Integrating multicultural books into your literature circles and your read aloud activities. It's an easy way to honor multiculturalism in things that you're already doing in your classroom. Reading news articles on different cultural celebrations and holidays across the world is a wonderful way to get your students interested in cultures, in nonfiction reading, and in geography. Teaching empathy and compassion through literature. As an educator, I think we owe our students that. We have a job to have them read about others and their lives, and though we have differences and we have commonalities, that we need to show acceptance, we need to show empathy, and these are skills that as an educator we can help build in our students and in our classroom. Using writing as a way for students to express themselves, using English, using their home language, having them write in both, having them write in the one they're most comfortable in. Another great way is having an interactive journal where students can respond to other students or a teacher can respond to the student. Having quality sharing time where the student feels comfortable sharing in a small group or in a partner, or if it's not too much anxiety, the whole class to speak about themselves, speak in their language. Building a classroom community that feels safe to share culture and share thoughts openly. This is the most important key or piece of this puzzle. having your student feel safe to speak, to